The KCS Mental Health Clinic, now in its 10th year of service, spans the continuum of care from crisis stabilization to recovery and from surviving to thriving. Having a New York State license does not only mean we have to follow a series of regulations. It means that we have to have accountability for the level of care and the quality of services, and that what we meet certain standards of care. When this work is carried out in a community not-for-profit, it enhances our ability to tailor our services and to continually innovate. What began with individual treatment for predominantly first-generation Korean older adults has extended to services that are intergenerational, tailored for youth, and even for the whole family.
처음 클라이언트 분들이 오시면 인터뷰를 통해 서로를 알아가고 신뢰를 쌓는 시간을 갖고 우울증 검사와 자살 검사 등을 통해 진단을 하고 상담 목표를 바탕으로 일주일에 한 번씩 상담을 진행합니다. 저희 클리닉의 장점은 한국 문화를 이해하는 상담사들이 한국어와 영어로 상담을 제공한다는 것입니다.
상담은 우선은 생활을 해나갈 수 있도록 기본적인 기능 향상을 돕고, 근원적으로는 상담은 내가 누구인지 알아가는 과정이에요. 상담을 받는 것은 부끄러운 일이 아니라 나를 직면할 용기가 있는 사람들이 나에게 기회를 주는 일입니다. 그래서 많은 분들이 KCS 멘탈 클리닉을 통해서 그 기회를 누릴 수 있기를 바랍니다.
저는 정신과 NP로서 정신건강 진단 및 약물 처방을 전담하고 있습니다. 이민 생활 중 겪는 스트레스, 우울, 불안 등 다양한 정신 문제를 모국어인 한국어와 영어로 전문적인 정신과 진단과 약물 치료를 제공하고 있습니다. 언제든 한국어로 편안하게 상담받으시고 전문적인 치료를 통해 건강하고 안정적인 일상으로의 회복을 돕겠습니다.
KCS 정신건강 클리닉의 임상감독자 이수일 박사입니다. 저는 우리 기관의 Clinical Quality and Safety and Documentation Regulation Compliance를 슈퍼바이저하며 모든 클라이언트들이 전문성과 따뜻함이 조화를 이룬 치료를 받을 수 있도록 지원하고 있습니다. 또한 치료사들을 위한 임상 슈퍼비전과 교육훈련 프로그램을 이끌며 모티베이셔널 인터뷰잉 등 에비던스 베이스 트리트먼트를 그리고 컬처럴 센시티비티를 함께 발전시키고 있습니다. 저희는 보험이 없는 분들도 참여할 수 있는 커뮤니티 아웃리치와 스포트 그룹을 운영하고 2세와 부모 세대가 소통을 회복하고 세대 간 트라우마를 치유하도록 돕는 일에도 힘쓰고 있습니다. 저는 우리 KCS 정신건강 클리닉이 정신건강 치료를 넘어 안정과 연결 그리고 회복의 공동체를 만들어간 일에 함께 하고 있습니다.
저는 KCS 멘탈 헬스 클리닉의 메디컬 디렉터를 맡고 있는 정신과 전문의 나종호라고 합니다. KCS에서는 굉장히 다양한 서비스들을 제공을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 교민분들 중에서 정신적으로 또 마음이 힘드신 분들을 위해서 정신건강 NP Nurse Practitioner 선생님, 박태현 선생님을 비롯해서 정신약물과 약물을 처방하기도 하고요. 그리고 다양한 종류의 상담 서비스, 불안, 우울, 정말 다양한 분야에 걸쳐서 훌륭하신 상담가 여러분들께서 영어와 한국어 모두 제공해 주시면서 서비스를 제공하고 계세요. 그래서 한국 문화에서는 여전히 정신건강에 대해서 이야기하는 게 마음이 편하진 않잖아요. 그런데 저희 KCS에서는 꼭 믿고 더 많은 어려움들을 도움을 받으실 수 있을 거라 생각합니다.
저는 64세 남자입니다. KCS 정신클리닉에 상담한 지 벌써 3년이 됐습니다. 선생님들이나 스태프분들이 친절하게 많이 도와주시고 그 약 처방은 닥터님이 따로 계셔서 결제 있게 먹을 수 있게 처방도 해주시고 다른 분들 정신적으로 우울증이나 기타 등등 있으신 분들은 연락해서 상담받아 오시는 것을 적극 권유합니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 67세 한국에서 이민 온 사람으로서 미국에서 되게 힘들고 고생해서 쌓였던 게 많았는데 KCS 정신건강 클리닉에 방문하면서 좋은 생각을 하게 됐고 마음도 바뀌게 됐고 여기서 모르는 사람이 너무 많은데 많이 알려줬으면 좋겠어요.
나이가 먹고 나니까 많은 컴플렉스가 생겨요. 힘드는 걸 여기 와서 풀으니까 큰 도움이 돼요. 이렇게 마음을 다 털어놓는 곳은 없거든요. 고맙습니다.
Mental health issues impact all of us. We all have a stake in the well-being of our community and of ourselves. Each of us can play an important role in ensuring that immigrant communities remain grounded in their heritage and work together with the broader community to build a better society at large. And that is the mission of Korean Community Services. So our KCS Mental Health Clinic relies on the support of our institutions, our leaders, and our own providers and clients to help build a better and brighter future for us all.
Hello, I am reporter Lydia Lee with KCMB TV. Today we are here at Korean Community Services at Queens celebrating the 10th anniversary of KCS Mental Health Clinic.
When this clinic first opened, we believe that everyone deserves care that understands their language, their culture, and heart. I want to give my deepest thanks to our former president, now council member Linda Lee, who vision made this clinic possible. Over the past decade, this place has become more than clinic. It has become a home of hope. To all our staff, especially mental health clinic staff, can you raise your hand? Wow, how many staff do we have right now? Partners and supporters, thank you for working this every journey with us. Here's to the next 10 era of care, courage, and community. Thank you. This is my word. Mental health clinic is the last division under KCS. Because KCS, we have 6 divisions: aging, education, PHRC, education, aging, PHRC, workforce, immigration, adult daycare center. We have a lot of different divisions. But mental health clinic, why? Why KCS make the mental health clinic? And it's hard, operation-wise, stepping-wise, honestly, funding-wise, it is not easy. After Linda leave, mental health clinic, we have very struggling about the operation. So our board members ask me that, Myung-mi, please close up the mental health clinic, because this is the money dropped. And also here our the third party, the NCHENG, our accounting team, they also ask me, when is the make even this mental health clinic? And every single year we did make gala, we did make golf, we ask some council member, we ask some assembly members, state, but still mental health clinic is money lose division. But why we, KCS, still this operation, the mental health clinic? Because of the mission, KCS mission. Who do we serve? Especially our elderly. It's not just internal medicine, right? The surgery. That's hard. Without the language, without the culture, cannot make it happen that hard the period of time, especially pandemic. Right now, I'm very proud of our mental health clinic. Why? Because We have so many interns. Because of the licensed clinic, we hired the intern. They grew inside of KCS. Right now, one of the staff member, SSW Tara, she was our intern. Right now, she is LCSW. She is under our staff. This is the KCS. This is our mission. And also, not only her, many of our interns within the KCS, they grew. They got the license. And right now, they professional field, the clinician. That is why KCS Mental Health Clinic, we have to survive. We have to take care of our community for 10 years, more than 10 years. Thank you so much for coming. Enjoy the dinner. Thank you.
I just want to invite the people who've been here from the beginning. We have here with us Gina Bay, who is the director of the Bureau of Licensing and Certification, who was the person there when this clinic was first started, and then we would go on to then have some of our other elected officials here come up and say a few things. So please come on.
It's a true joy and an honor to be here today. And it has a special meaning for me, both as a representative of the New York State Office of Mental Health and as a member of the Korean community. I still remember those early conversations about the opening up the clinic, and there was so much excitement around creating a place where Korean individuals and families can come and receive care that truly understands who we are, our culture, our language, and sometimes even our hesitation to talk about mental health. So seeing how the clinic has grown over the past decade, how it's become a trusted and welcoming place for so many, really fills me with joy and pride. So KCS, in my opinion, has done something very, very special. You've made it easier for people to reach out for help. And you've also built a bridge between the Korean community and the broader mental health system in New York State. And that is no small thing. So on behalf of the Office of Mental Health, and from me personally, me 10 years younger than when you opened, okay, let me not get fixated on my age. Congratulations, 진심으로 축하드립니다. On 10 years of commitment, your compassion, and quality care. I can't wait to see all that you'll continue to do for our community in the years ahead. 감사합니다.
Linda was KCS president and CEO. You know that, right?
I was getting very emotional watching the video for so many reasons, because it took, God, at least a full year just to put the application together. And I remember we had a couple binders that were like this thick, and we had to come up with all the formulas of how we would do the reimbursement funding. And then there were a number of things that needed to happen, right? So it just so happened I was on the board of NAMI New York City. I happened to meet Cindy Friedmutter, who's a consultant, where I was like, we're trying to start a mental health clinic and I have no idea where to start. And she's like, well, that's what I do. And so she was actually the one who worked with me on that application. It took a year. And then the other thing that happened was once we applied, we got the conditional approval, but when we went to the committee that decides if we're gonna get it or not, it just so happened that there was another former board member of the organization I was a board of, and he was part of that panel, right? And so, lo and behold, we got it. It took 4 years to then look for the spacing, get everything done right. It took a long time to find the right space. It took a long time to find staff. And I remember when we put this in the newspaper, I was like, how the heck am I going to find a Korean-speaking bilingual psych NP or a psychiatrist? Like, where am I going to find these people? And then there was a psychiatrist, first generation, who literally just retired. And he saw this newspaper article in the Korean newspaper and was like, oh, maybe I can help them out with my time. And so he called us up just out of the blue and said, I want to help you guys out. And so that's how we got the psychiatrist to put on the application to get the approval. And so it's crazy because when I think about it, I'm like, all these things had to be aligned in order for us. And then when we heard about Gina Bae, I was like, it's a good sign, guys, like she's Korean, right? But then in the meetings, like, you know, her affect is very calm. And I was like, I can't tell if this is good or bad because she won't get me any sign. But it was great working with Gina. And I have to say, just on a personal note, the reason why we started this in the first place is because I remember we were talking to the funeral home director at Jamie Funeral. And he was talking to me and Mr. Kim, Kwang-suk Kim at the time. And he's like, you know, a lot more of the deaths that I'm seeing, it's because of suicide, overdose issues, right? Drug addiction. There's all these things that we're seeing more and more in the community. And just on a personal note, this has always been an important issue for me because I have a very, very close family member who's schizophrenic and bipolar, and no one talks about it in my family, right? So my parents only know something is off with this particular person, but they don't even know exactly what the issue is with her. And then I remember at church, right? I don't know if this is going to bring up traumatizing memories, but like if people had things they were struggling with, the pastors would say, oh, just pray more, right? You need to just pray more and get the sin out of you. And I'm like, I don't know if that's really the answer. Yes, there are spiritual issues, but then there are also legit mental health issues too, which is why when we did the mental health first aid training with the first gen pastors, I was surprised. They were so willing and wanting to take part in it. And then after that, we had so many amazing elected officials, because if you look at that first picture right there of the ribbon cutting, former Councilmember Paul Vallone, who has unfortunately left us way too early, and of course Toby Stavisky, Neely Rosick, who looks exactly the same, and Ron Kim and others who really helped to shape and build this clinic. And I say all this to say, you know, that's why actually we started the golf outing. And I remember it was a very lonely period because how do you fight to keep something that doesn't make sense logically, that is draining and sucking the money out of an organization, literally? But because of the mission-driven side, I think that's why the board and us, we just kept pushing. Are we actually break even finally? Yes. Okay, yeah. So we're finally break even, which is a big deal. Oh, nice, we have a surplus. But I think what this has taught me, and I think what has made me a stronger legislator, is that what I saw very clearly through this process, which by the way, DOH, no offense to DOH, but they messed up our Medicaid application, so we lost reimbursements, a year's worth of reimbursements that I could not get back. So one of the things I realized throughout this entire process is that it takes a village. You know, the representation and who is your elected official matters. And then also, the system is not meant for people who look like us. It really isn't. And I would think that, and this is no shade on the state or anything, I get it, there's regulations, there's need for it, but you know, you would think that it would be easier to open up these clinics and provide more services, but it's tough. But you know what, in that camaraderie, we've been talking to other communities, South Asian communities, different cultures now that are really growing in population that are like, we want this service too. And we need these services in our community as well. So in a lot of ways, I think KCS has set a precedent for other AAPI communities, which I think is amazing. So I need you guys to get the full picture of this and be proud every single day of the work you're doing at the clinic, because it does not go unnoticed. Everyone has noticed, and I think even when I spoke to officials at Elmhurst Hospital back in the day when we first started, I think it was maybe 2 years after we started, the inpatient LCSW at Elmhurst Hospital, she came up to me, and I remember, she's like, I can't say for sure if it's because you guys opened up your clinic, but we've been seeing less of a revolving door of our Korean inpatient units into Elmhurst Hospital. And it's because now we actually have a place to send them where they can receive services in the community, right? So it's making a difference. It does matter. And I think because of the work and everything at KCS, that's why we have a lot of policies now at the city level and at the state that are more helpful towards immigrant communities around mental health services. So there's a lot more funding that's going into it, and there's a lot more legislation and bills that are going into helping our communities. So I will stop talking because I am talking too long, but I cannot emphasize to you all the importance of the work that you're doing and how much it is needed. And as chair of the mental health committee now on the city council, it's been wonderful to actually create a roadmap that involves community voices, immigrant voices, youth voices, and people who speak and look like us in the community. And I think it's important to recognize that we are not part of this model minority myth, and that's okay. And we have issues too, and that's okay. And so we need to talk loudly about it, and we need to make sure that folks feel safe and comfortable to seek services. And I just really, really love the staff and thank the staff, Myung-mi, Yuna, as well as all the directors, because I know that the directors also were like, oh my God, we have to do all this work to raise money for the mental health clinic, and we have to spend all of our extra time doing these damn golf outings, but it mattered. Sorry, I'm just saying. I know you guys just had a golf outing. They were I was the girl driving around pouring all the people shots of Johnny Black, but no, I say that to say that, and that's why my first point of it takes a village is really important, because without your sacrifices and time and energy, the clinic would not still be here. So thank you all. And this is not really an honor for me, it's for everybody.
So I'm just thrilled to be here and to just play my small piece in all of this, and to say thank you for the amazing work that KCS, Yuna, Young-mi, your entire team of social workers and doctors and everyone who just works so tirelessly on behalf of the community. I want to also say that you are now kind of a beacon for other organizations who reach out to you and look to you as the model for cultural, competent care that other communities also need and deserve. So again, I'm just happy to be a small piece of the puzzle and to say thank you so much for 10 amazing years. And on behalf of state legislators, you know that we have your back because you serve so many of our constituents and those in need. So thank you so much.
I really appreciated hearing the three of you speak, Myung-mi, Linda. You could see how passionate you are about the mental health clinic. And it really, I didn't realize how much work that you guys put into it, how much dedication, how much fundraising. And it's really a pleasure to see you celebrate the 10th anniversary. Pushing ahead now, a surplus, right? You said it's a surplus. It's incredible, and I just really want to thank everybody. I want to thank all the staff members for, as Neely Rosick said, providing culturally competent care, but also breaking down some of the stigma there is about seeking out mental health services. And I think just generally we as a society are doing a better job of that. I think it's not just with immigrant communities, I think with everybody, there's an understanding now that, just like you can get a cold, you can have a time in your life where you're having mental health challenges, and it's normal to seek out help and get better. So I want to thank everybody for all the work that you do. It's really a pleasure to see you celebrating this 10th milestone. Thank you very much. We do have an assembly proclamation. You know what? Why don't we? Neely's got her daughter with her. You want to wait, and we'll just do it afterwards. We'll do a picture with me and everybody afterwards once Neely's daughter gets settled. So thank you very much.
I'm currently plays a significant role at KCS as a clinical supervisor. I've been in the field over 30 years. mainly working on the Western, non-Korean setting. And I joined the KCS Mental Health Clinic in August 2023. I've been excited to serve my own blood population, Korean American.
So what does the 10th anniversary of KCS Mental Health Clinic mean to you personally and professionally?
Personally, I've been always servicing Korean American population more personal level. Since I joined in 2023, I got more structured. So in the past, for instance, I want to help them, but I couldn't. I couldn't accept their Medicaid. Now I am helping them through their Medicaid service at KCS. So that's a more expansion of my kind of professional expertise to be used at the more structural level cases. And the professional wise, I am retiring from Bronx Lebanon Hospital next March, right? So I will be dedicated more to my own Korean American population. I'm so excited that I could extend my legacy to the next generation. Yeah, so that's kind of my professional kind of legacy extended for the future direction.
So why is culturally competent care, such as offering services in both Korean and English, so important to this community?
Counseling and the mental health practice involve talk therapy, right? So talking should be anyway come to a level at the client's service. Even now, non-Korean setting, they use all video translation, for more comfortable service at where clients at. So our Korean American services are not able to. It's not easy to access to non-Korean setting. So now Korean, English, whatever language they have, they could come for service more easy. Comfortable level. Even family dynamic, for instance, children speak more English, and the parents speak Korean. So we had a more family dynamic kind of care by different service providers, Korean speaking and English speaking. So I think it's their more access level kind of to be easily kind of available.
So what are the clinic's priorities for the next 10 years?
Vision by administration, but at my understanding, we will secure more standard care, quality care, competing with the other service sectors, which is mainly dominated by non-Korean population, was medical provider, was psychiatric providers, right? So we want to go beyond typical standard care level.
So what do you think sets KCS apart from other mental health providers?
Again, it's very unique, more Korean American targeted, so population is more specific. Korean American who didn't have any kind of mental health services in the past. At the same time, Asian population, Korean population, more ashamed of being vulnerable. We are bringing the population who never talked about their inner feeling to the kind of more surface level to learn how to be more vulnerably okay. That's a different challenge. Western population more already kind of accessible to be vulnerable there, but the Korean population is very hard to open up. Population is very unique, but the Asian population more tuned to think you got to deal with it within. Way different from kind of bilingual sector. Parents and children had a different language and cultural factors. So there's a lot of intergenerational cultural factor from immigrants. That's very, very unique. That's what I can think of at this moment.
So what do you believe organizations like KCS are essential to the mental health and well-being of immigrant communities?
When we first started thinking about opening up this mental health clinic, it was maybe 2010. And the reason why we did it is because we knew that there's a lot of stigma in our community around mental health. And even if there was someone that I could send them to, there's not a lot of therapists or mental health professionals that speak Korean or understand the cultural dynamic. And so we felt very strongly that it was important for us to open up this clinic, get the license. It took 4 years, a lot of support from our board members, and a lot of extra funding that we needed to raise. But I can't believe it's already been 10 years now. So, yeah.
So from your perspective, what progress have you seen in reducing the stigma around mental health, especially within immigrant communities?
Yeah, so first of all, I think the language piece is really, really important. And we've been working with faith-based communities, we've been working with small business owners and other folks in the community around doing mental health first aid trainings, also doing educational workshops in the community. And also, now that I'm on the city council, and this is why representation matters, right, is that after we were elected, there's now 7 Asian Americans on the city council, which has never happened before. And we've been putting a lot more funding towards groups like KCS that actually provide culturally, linguistically sensitive mental health services, because that's super, super important. And then also on top of that, we've been able to change a lot of the policy at the city level. One of the things I worked on when I first joined the city council a few years ago was the mental health roadmap, and that's a package of bills and legislation that we created to address a lot of the mental health issues in the city, and also specifically focusing on the AAPI community.
And as KCS marks its 10th anniversary, what message or recognition or encouragement would you like to offer to its staff, volunteers, and supporters?
Oh boy, we got to keep shattering the stigma. We need to keep educating our community, and we need to let folks know that it is okay to reach out for help, and that we need to continue partnering with groups like KCS as well as the community members to make sure that people understand it's not just your physical health, it's your mental health, and all of those things are very much tied together. And so we need to have it become a regular part of people's checkup physically, not just physically, but also mentally as well. So hopefully we can continue moving the needle, right, forward. So, yeah.
It's been an incredible 10 years. It feels like yesterday that I was with everyone cutting the ribbon on this new site. And KCS has done tremendous work in the mental health space, helping thousands of New Yorkers get the resources that they need and deserve. And I'm just so thrilled to be a small part of this larger celebration of 10 amazing years doing good work and helping our community.
I would like to recognize all the staff, and especially President Myung-mi Kim, for their dedication and support and their service. And congratulations again for your 10th anniversary.
So why do you believe organizations like KCS are essential to the mental health and well-being of immigrant communities?
Well, I think, as you saw from the presentation today, it's important that we have culturally competent services, right? People who speak the language, people who understand the community, and that's why KCS's Mental Health Clinic is so important.
And in what ways has KCS strengthened community health and resilience here in New York?
I think you heard from the testimony there, they had clients who were able to speak about their hesitation to seek out help, but once they got help, they felt it was confidential and beneficial, and I think they've really helped the community.
And how does this kind of community-centered care reflect the spirit and values of Queens and New York City as a whole?
I think, especially in Queens, but New York City as a whole, not only are we one of the most diverse places in the world, but we also go the extra mile for each other, and we care about our neighbors, and we make sure that if anybody is having a hard time, we give them a hand to lift them up.
And lastly, as KCS marks its 10th anniversary, what message of recognition or encouragement would you give to its staff, volunteers, and supporters?
Judging from the comments today, you could see how dedicated and passionate they are, and I just wanted to let them know that their work is appreciated.
So the senator firmly believes that organizations like this is the backbone of all these immigrants, especially when they can't really raise their voice. The senator really likes to represent them and then really let what kind of issues that they're having and let the world know, pretty much New York State and Queens area. So she really supports them, and though she can't be here due to her foot surgery, but she really sends all her support. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
So how does this kind of community-centered care reflect the spirit and values of Queens and New York City as a whole?
Queens has the largest Asian population. She firmly believes that it's not all about Manhattan, or Manhattan's not always the center, but Queens really represents like the dynamics and the diversity of all the immigrants. So she really thinks Queens is the crucial part of the city. And as a whole, as like just like New York City, we have to really like work together and support and love each other. She firmly believes that there should be no hate in older generation or younger generation or right, left or right. She just firmly believes that everybody has to really support each other. So yeah, that's what she firmly believes in. Yeah. We were really touched by the videos and how much KCS has been helping not only senior citizens but younger generation as well when it comes to mental health. And a lot of times these voices are not really heard. So she would really like organizations like this to be heard. That you guys are doing great. You made all this possible, and without your help, I mean, we couldn't be here. So thank you so much for what you do, and you guys did it.
Yeah, I want to say how essential the services that KCS provides to the communities of need, and especially when services are targeted to the Korean community, offered by clinicians that truly understand what the culture is like and what goes behind some of the challenges that individuals may be experiencing. I think that makes it even more essential and critical. So I want to say congratulations on this incredible milestone, and just keep up the incredible work that you have been doing for the past decade and for many, many decades more. I mean, we truly appreciate the essential services that KCS offers in not just the communities in Queens and New York City, but as part of our entire mental health system in New York State.
Mental Health Clinic 10-year라고 하는 건 it's not just on the KCS, overall Korean community. Everybody don't trust the mental health clinic growing under KCS, but we made for 10 years. Operation-wise, mental health clinic is not easy because of the licensing our staff. We cannot recruit compared to private hospital especially, but many people like you guys, the young professional field, especially social worker, the LMSW, SSW, they reach out to us. They have to develop their field, and also we have to support their career. We changed a lot, especially during the pandemic, especially Korean community. The mental health clinic is the taboo because their family history, they don't want to show up, and kind of 미신, so they don't want to reach out to mental health clinic. But right now we did educate our community. They have any kind of issue the mentally, and they reach out to us. It's very different compared to pandemic and after pandemic. After 10 years, Korean community, it is not only serve the Korean community, we do serve a mixed community, non-Korean community. It's not only aging, we do serve youth and until the seniors.
So lastly, if you could describe the clinic's journey in one word, what would it be and why?
Clinic is not just a clinic. Clinic is home and hope.